guys, welcome to another episode of Anime Podcasters.
I can't do the bit.
You ask for stupid, you get stupid, motherfucker.
Oh my god. Hi guys, and welcome back to Anime Podcasters. Me and my bro Jim Hotshot. Today, we're going to be talking about anime training regiments. It's going to be the most hardcore episode. I had protein for breakfast, I had protein for lunch, and now we're doing this podcast.
But bro, you didn't get your protein. You need your protein, bro.
I need my anime workout playlist, which I've been working out to every week. I go on 10Ks every minute.
That's my bro. Okay, no.
Bro.
I'm not doing... Nope, I'm done. All right, guys. So today we are just talking about training regiments. You guys know shonen shows and other shows in general, where they go through rigorous training to get stronger, be it to even fight just against one foe, or if they're like Goku, training is just in their blood and they know nothing else about the way of life. So we thought we'd actually just dive into their overall training regiments and like training specific techniques. It's just going to be a very open discussion about training in general. It's not going to be a list. We're just going to go from like point to point to point. We do have some that we're going to hit specifically, but it's not going to be like, okay, we hit this, we hit this, we hit that. It's just going to be very open and very like in the air. So yeah, and no more Gym Bro. I'm done with that. That's not happening anymore. I'm not drinking protein. I'm drinking Mountain Dew because I'm a gamer and that's what we do.
I'm just saying, Hotshot Jim Bro is probably my favorite Hotshot.
Well, he's dead. He's not coming back.
Never again?
Never again?
Fine.
He'll probably be back
also,
eventually,
guys,
but I hate him.
I'm just saying, it is deathly hot today for me. You might hear me chugging back a little bit of water. I'm just forewarning on that. You might hear going, yeah. So the answer to that is that might happen multiple times. It's so deathly hot today. So, how do you want to kick off this topic, Hotshot? I think, talking about gym bros is good and all, but like we need to talk about the real anime bros that, are very, very. That work out a lot. That the anime focuses on them training. We have a lot of characters. I think I have an idea of where to start, but obviously, I always welcome your opinion first.
I mean, when you think anime training, I'm gonna break this up actually a little bit. When you think of anime training, what's the first character to pop in your head?
Mine is Rock Lee.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Lee.
Okay, we'll start with Lee, I guess. Lee to me is the epitome of training in anime. This guy has done every single physical exercise on screen. I'm sorry, but this guy's literally entire focus. He's a perfect candidate for anime training because he's literally a failure in ninjutsu and genjutsu. He's the character that, let's take one character and let's just dedicate him to one craft. Physical battles and like the training behind it. And so I've been watching like montages of him working out. I've seen videos of him. His training is ridiculous. Like he does walking on arms. He does squat jumps. I see him do like weighted clothing, obviously. I mean, that famous scene with him versus Gara, and then guys like, it's okay, Lee, you could take him off. And then, Tamara's like, oh, a few weights, and then breaks the floor. We all remember that scene. Like upward push-ups, crunches on ropes. He goes on runs. Like this guy does everything. It's crazy. He's just like the epitome of anime training in my mind. Like he's the most dedicated to it as well, I think. What do you think of Lee when it comes to training?
Honestly, he's probably the only character really who trains more than Goku, because Goku doesn't do anything except fight and train really, but at the same time, like Goku does take time to like eat and do some stuff with his family when Chi-Chi like forces him to, and hangs out with Krillin and shit. Lee, not so much. Lee, if he's not on a mission, he's training, and the drive on the boy for that kind of thing is just kind of insane. Like the exercise that I remember the most from Lee is the run around the village on your hands like 300 times.
Yeah,
that's the one that pops in my head immediately, and I'm just like, fucking hell. Like hell, even in their super moves in the Ultimate Ninja games, Lee and Guy both have a workout move. Like it's mostly for Guy, but it incorporates like the, if I can't do this so and so times, then it's this and this for me.
Oh, in Ultimate Ninja. Ultimate Ninja, I think, right?
Like Guy does it with like 100 sit-ups. He doesn't in I think he does it in Clash of Ninja too. Actually, no, his move's different in that. But there's always like some kind of workout like move or something. Like if not for Lee, at least for Guy. So if that doesn't tell you like how much it means to them, like not even just as training, but as a character, I really don't think anything does. Because Goku doesn't have a like hell, even a line like "Wow, my training's paid off" or anything like that. It's literally just I'm beating you with training.
It's insane. It's actually ridiculous how much this guy trains. Like my guy as well is no slouch. I think he implemented his work ethic
Yeah.
into Lee.
Actually,
And yeah.
There's one more exercise that Lee does that I've kind of always liked just because it's kind of insane. Chopping down a tree by kicking it like repeatedly.
Oh
in
my
the same
god, yeah.
spot.
That's the classic. That's the Leaf Whirlwind.
Yeah, like that and the hands around the village. Like those are the exercises I remember Lee the most for because it's just I remember his kicks and I remember the bark like flying off with each one and like he's halfway through the tree and still kicking it and it's just like fucking hell. I can only imagine how bad that hurts.
And actually, I remember in Shippuden at some point, I remember seeing him like punching rocks and like actually just destroying the rocks with his actual fist. Like, I mean, he's literally his move is the strong fist, right?
Yeah.
That's what he does. It's literally a taijutsu based on like punching and breaking bones. Like it's just about punching as hard as you can.
It's about a blunt
insane.
object, and that blunt object is you.
It's about that gym bro life. I'm gonna drink my shake after this episode.
Like even God, this was just hard for me to watch when it got to this point. Even his training, like after he was crippled by Gaara, like when he just got out of bed and just immediately started. to train
my
again,
god!
that
if I can't do 100 push-ups, oh dude,
that hurt. And he got to 99 before collapsing. I'm like, fucking hell, Lee, damn. Like I'm
dude,
sorry.
I'm
sorry, but I'm probably gonna be dropping a lot of F-bombs because watching these anime characters train and work out, and especially like pushing them to the limit, is pretty freaking intense. So F-bombs are probably just gonna slip out of me, and I'm sorry, but that's just what's gonna happen.
Very inspiring though, honestly. But in the Naruto universe, I do want to give props to Naruto as well. I feel like he's definitely a trained one that we see train a lot. I think specifically one move we can talk about here a little bit. One that you wanted to bring up.
His Rasengan training.
Yeah.
Main reason I wanted to bring it up is because it's such a like, don't get me wrong, Naruto was like my first like long string anime that I watched a lot of, like even before Dragon Ball and everything. So when I heard you can learn this ultimate powerful move that you just saw me do with a water balloon, I'm like, the But then it makes sense when you think about it. Just like enough power to swirl the water in the balloon, like enough chakra to swirl the water in the balloon until it bursts, and then holding the chakra in a spherical shape without bursting the rubber ball, and then actually making the Rasengan. Like it's three basic steps, but like you see, like with Naruto going through them, it is not as easy as it looks. And hell, even
not at all.
Even like after he loses to Tsunade and just like trains, like smashing the Rasengan into rock and everything until the Sannin battle, like you can see how hard he's working at this, and it's still nowhere near perfect until he uses the clone to like, okay, I need another hand, which I freaking love. I love using the clone for the Rasengan, and just that like three basic step. But that's the thing. Like even when training is basic, it can still be very, very intense and a lot harder than you think it's gonna be.
The other thing with Naruto, actually, when I think about Naruto in training, specifically not with the Rasengan, but when we finish the preliminary rounds, and then they're all like, "Oh, now you're gonna fight new enemies," and they've all seen you fight before, so you gotta go learn new tricks, you know. And so he goes out, finds Jiraiya, and does the summoning training. And the culmination of that training, I want to talk about the culmination. I don't want to talk about the training itself, because we saw him. He summoned a little tadpole, blah, blah, blah. Like, Jiraiya's a perv. We remember this. But the scene where he gets knocked down the big pit, and the only way he is able to get out of that is by summoning Gamabunta. That was fantastic. That was like the culmination of the training, like right now. And then right before he hits the ground with the spikes and he's gonna die, boom, out pops Gamabunta, you know?
Yeah.
I love that scene so much.
Which is a combination between the training and the fox, just like, okay, I'll give you a taste of my power. Because the fox is like, I don't want to die either.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, I get where you're going. One last thing I actually want to hit on Naruto just because while we were talking about the Rasengan made me think of it. When we got introduced to chakra nature changes and found out that Naruto is a wind chakra nature and his training in that to come up with the Rasen Shuriken. Like we in order to do that, we found out that any information the clones learn, Naruto gets himself when the clones disappear. And we never really knew that because Naruto only ever used the clones for like mass battle. So like he was always around his clones. He never sent them off to, do what clones are supposed to do, just like go off and gain information while you stay on the task at hand or so on and so forth. But once he learned that, the amount of training he got with the clones like in such a short time was kind of insane.
Honestly, like if there was one technique to do training with, I think clones is perfect because you could literally just fight yourself, I think clones are fantastic for that.
Yeah, and if you mastered your like fighting yourself, like okay, fight 10 U's or fight 20 U's, it's just insane. And then that led to his sage training too, which is a whole different story. But I mainly want to just like touch base on the Rasen Shuriken because that brought out the chakra nature, and like imagine if Naruto was a fire user instead of wind or anything like that. Like imagine what shape or something the Rasengan would have been. Like can he throw it like Boruto can later and it turns into like a fire kunai or something like that? I think it'd be amazing to see, but at the same time, just his training to build up the Wind Rasengan and then seeing the the Wind Rasengan, the Rasen Shuriken, and then the end result was freaking amazing. I still love seeing that for the first time.
I know, it's so cool. I kind of wanted to jump to
a different
actually,
show.
You know
We've
what?
been on Naruto for a little bit. I mean, it's up to you.
What show you want to talk about? Yeah, no. I've said everything I have to say about Naruto personally. Okay. I feel like, because at the same time, I don't want to like talk about the history of Naruto's training because there's so much more to get to.
Yeah. Well, at the beginning of this, I asked you who you thought of when I told you anime training.
Yeah,
you said Lee.
For you? What about you?
The first one pops in. First one pops in my head is Goku.
I mean, he's not a gym bro, but I mean. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. Of course.
Jesus
of course.
Christ. I'm like, are you really pulling this? Like, you.
But Goku
trains
on training
just
mode.
Not as much
training
as
mode is no. All arguable. You can argue.
Lee can't drive. Goku took the time to drive.
Exactly.
But that is what it is. It's just Goku, like ever since he was a kid, really has been training. Like, yeah, you don't really see him doing it much in original Dragon Ball. It's mostly just going on the journey. Like, you do see him training, but it's not. Okay, let me get there. Let me get there.
Yeah, I will.
Because I'm just pulling from my movie, from Curse of the Blood Ruby. Like, yes, Goku does train, like, even as a kid. However, I didn't see him, like, take training really seriously until he got to the Turtle School, at least in the movie that I had, or in the VHS that I had. Like, feel free to correct me, but that's just what I saw. But then from that point on, it was just training.
For me, his training began at the Turtle School.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he went on a couple adventures with Bulma here and there before. But
and like he knew how to fight because of Grandpa Gohan, but he didn't train to be a Z fighter until Roshi.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's what I was getting at.
What I do want to say, the reason that is because the tournaments get introduced at that point.
Okay.
When like training with Roshi. But I want to talk about one of my favorite trainings that he did with Roshi was I think it was like a golden rock or something. I forget. It was like an object, and him and Krillin are there, and they're in this jungle. And Roshi's at the top of this super tall cliff, and he hurls this rock. We're just gonna say it for simplicity's sake. We're gonna call it a rock. He hurls this rock super far, and I forget what the outcome is, but basically he's like, "Okay, now what you need to do is go find that rock."
and Krillin's like, what?
That's the training. Go find that rock. First one to find that rock wins. That's like so rudimentary, Like that's so like basics to basics. Like you can't find a harder training or like a more basic training. Sorry.
I mean, it's just a needle in a haystack. However, the haystack is the size of an entire island.
Basically.
But I mean, like,
then,
like hell, that's kind of the training we learned where Krillin is a, hey, you, I'm number one or I'm first kind of character at first. Like he just resorted to trickery and stuff like that. But Goku on the other hand is just like, okay, just totally absent-minded.
It's so insane. It really is insane. insane.
But then, like, think, like, okay, for his first, meaning Goku, his first training requirement was to find a rock on an island. But now, like, his training is fighting Beerus, fighting Whis, and, like, holding super forms as long as he possibly can. And it's just like, that's a hell of a jump from finding a rock.
It's
And
also several decades.
it's also several Well, yeah, but you know what I mean. It's just like you have a starting point, and then this is where you are now. But at the same time, he's still training. Like, from where I am, I know that there's more, and I know that at some point you'll probably tell me. But from where I was, the ultimate form that I've seen Goku use is Ultra Instinct, like something Gods of Destruction hadn't even trained up to do. And yet here he is doing it, and all he had to do was find a rock in a field.
To be fair, like quick sidebar here on Dragon Ball Super, I've
Yeah.
been really meaning to just go into the manga. I still haven't, but I think I'm going to because they're dropping a movie in 2022. Like the series is not coming back in a very long time. It's very evident. So I think I'm just gonna jump into the manga and just see. Like I know it's a Space Patrol arc, but I'm gonna do that. Like I need to at this point. I can't wait anymore. I can't wait anymore.
All
But
right.
going back to basics Goku here. The other training he would do. I remember him digging with Krillin huge lines in the earth, like in the ground, just to do like I think it was like a set up a garden. You know how gardens are set up with like big lines across them, like straight lines.
Yeah.
He did that. He would carry huge milk cartons up like stairs and bring them back. What else did he do? Walking up the mountain with a huge boulder attached to both of his arms. I remember seeing this. Literally, just a huge boulder attached to his arms. Like he cannot move his arms, and he would walk up the mountain with that boulder. It's like ridiculous stuff like that he would do. Obviously, he would do spars and stuff.
It's kind of similar to the training, like just here because I am hearing this secondhand. It's kind of similar to the training in Mulan, when they're doing "Make a Man Out of You." You know what I mean?
Oh, I haven't seen that movie in forever, but I'll take your word for it.
Because like they were hiking up a mountain with like full jugs of water, deflecting rocks with a stick and stuff like that. It just training regiments like sound the same. Like for very different characters, it's very different results and everything. But it sounds like you're doing along the same kind of tasks, just to like a different extent, and obviously in a different world.
Yeah, no, 100%. I wanted to say also, let's just go full Dragon Ball here.
Okay.
After Turtle School, the next big one for me is, I guess, the Gravity Chamber. Honestly, you know what I mean? Like
The
yeah,
gravity
these
chamber
Spartan stuff.
for Vegeta.
And Goku. Goku uses it on the spaceship.
Oh yeah, he used it on his way to
Namek.
Namek.
Yeah, set ups on ropes, punching with weights, stuff like that, push-ups, you know, insane stuff like that. He would fire Kamehamehas and would circle across the spaceship, and he would get hit by them. Like he would like inflict damage on himself, like stupid stuff like that. And I remember Vegeta. Vegeta would do this stupid exercise, ridiculous exercise, where Dr. Brief made these like drones, and they would fire a ki blast and bounce around the each other. There was like 5 drones, and they would bounce around each other, and then Vegeta would just have to dodge and dodge and dodge and dodge and dodge. And it was that thing where, you know, he's doing this training all the time, and Yamcha's around the Capsule Corp house, and he's like, Vegeta's training, it can't be that hard. And he goes into the chamber, and he hits the gravity chamber, and he just gets smushed to the ground because it goes straight to 300. And he's like, what is this? Wait, I'm feeling this is ridiculous. And he barely has enough strength to just like hit the button to like turn it off.
It's just like, what the hell?
Yeah, and then
'Cause
Dragon
when-
Ball Super. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, gravity training is no joke because, like, if you move at normal speed, or if you get to the point where you move at speed where you would at like base gravity, then by all the counts, you're 300 times faster when you do go back to normal gravity. Like it brings heavy results very quick, and the results are very evident.
Yeah, no, 100%. But it goes like further than that. There's obviously the hyperbolic time chamber, which is like the ultimate life hack, training hack, I would say. You know, what was it? Every day in there's a year. Is that
Every
is
day,
that it?
yeah, one day in here or one day out here is a year in there.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. Oh, and the training that you're doing there like makes you abundantly stronger. You know, I mean, I remember when Goten and Trunks would fight against Super Buu, and they would just train in the hyperbolic chamber just a little bit to get a little bit stronger to just use any edge they would have when they use as Go tanks.
Like even half a day is still like 6 months worth of training in the chamber, and it's insane. Or like the result where like Vegeta went in before before Vegeta and Trunks went in before Goku and Gohan in the Cell arc, and then the amount of training they did in there, Vegeta comes out finally stronger than Goku. It doesn't even last a day because Goku goes in with Gohan and then comes out holding the form of Super Saiyan. So it's like stupid. A year. So like for every party that goes in there, it's literally a year of literally nothing but training, and it's just kind of insane to think that just like, okay, train, sleep, eat, train, sleep, eat, train, sleep, eat, like that shirt you see across stores and stuff, like eat, play video games, eat, play video games, sleep, play video games, repeat. Like it literally, that is the hyperbolic time chamber.
In a sense. I also wanted to mention basic training that Goku would do as well in Dragon Ball was weighted clothing. Like that's a common one across.
Oh yeah. What I mean, weighted clothing, like again, that's going back to Lee for a sec. Something he did before he could drop his weights, and then you see his real speed. Like some of these characters like do insane things to get stronger. Like, and weighted clothing, especially like up to Lee's level, is freaking insane. But weighted clothing is also a real world thing that you can use.
I was thinking of doing it because I do some workouts myself. Like I go running and I do like arms and chest and stuff. I was thinking like if I could do that with like weighted clothing, dude. Oh my god, it would make it so much harder.
When I was a kid, I didn't know that weighted clothing was real. So when I saw Lee drop his weights, I'm like, can I just tape like a bunch of 10-pound weights around my ankles and walk around?
Oh my god.
I'm like, I'm glad I didn't, because that would have ended badly. But at the same time, that's what I thought as a kid. I didn't think numbers increased. I just thought, yeah, it's just 10 pounds. Yeah, but it's like 6 10-pound weights, Austin. Come on.
The other training I want to mention with Dragon Ball, and then we can maybe wrap on this.
Yeah, go for it.
It's a meditation training where Piccolo does it a bunch. I think Nam, a Dragon Ball character, does it a bunch. And I remember Gohan and Krillin would do it on their way to Namek. They would sit there in a meditation position and they would mentally picture themselves in a battle with Nappa, for example, and then they would like train via that. So
it's also good for like really cool. It's also good for like are you thinking of mental image training?
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Because it's also good for like enemies that can mess with your head too, because that means essentially you're another fighter in your head, so you can still defend yourself just in a different way.
Yeah, fair enough. Did you want to jump to? I'll let you pick the next one of in your mind. What else did you want to jump to, bro?
Okay. Okay, so we kind of touched on this with Naruto summoning Gambunta, but I just want to get your take on it. So this is from Senran Kagura. It's from that, well, for lack of a better word, it's from that booby ninja show that I told you about a long time ago. So they are still ninja, and they also have the ability to summon, but unlike Naruto, they don't have to make a contract. They can summon essentially their spirit animal. So it's like whatever animal like resides in your heart and stuff like that, they summon that, but you have to have like that strong a bond in order to actually like connect with it with your inner energy in order to summon it. So the way they cover it in the show is it can be mythical, it can be a real animal, it can be a real animal in a different way, it can be a whole bunch of things. The way they cover it in the show, the class rep can summon hers no problem. She has a phoenix, and everyone else like takes after her, like more or less summoning them with no problems. But our main character, Asuka, has a really big issue with summoning hers because it's the animal she's the most afraid of. So it's just kind of amazing. Like, it is comedy based, but at the same time, it's still training. Yeah. And it's like
it is
training to get over your fears of that. So what she does is her classmates put this animal in danger, like the real life equivalent of the animal in danger. So Asuka saves it to get over her fear before she can summon the animal. And I just kind of love that kind of take on it. Like, because the only other form of summoning I've seen is Naruto, where you have to make a blood contract. So I just kind of like it. I just wanted to
I think it's cool for
sure. Still training.
I mean, I think it's cool, but I really think that the reason why she has that struggle with like, oh, she can't summon it because she's afraid of it is just to give the main character some sort of like struggle to like, oh, this is like what the show's about, you know? Kind of thing.
It is.
That's the vibe I'm getting from it.
Like I said, it's more comedy based anyway. It's not really focused on the training. Like like Naruto or Dragon Ball would. But I still wanted to
Yeah,
bring it
fair
up
enough.
because it's just a different form of the same kind of training.
Mhm.
But
No, it is. It is.
just because I wanted to cover base on that, like that's all I wanted to say. The next character I do think of when I think training, like talking back and forth like this, is Deku, because Deku literally starts
Oh,
from
of course.
nothing.
Deku has nothing in a population where 80% in an anime where 80% of the world has some sort of quirk. We're talking about My Hero Academia here. Deku's training begins with, obviously, when he comes in contact with All Might, the number one hero in season 1 of My Hero Academia. A quick setup here is that in My Hero Academia, 80% of the population has some sort of quirk, i.e. ability, such as teleportation, running fast, like you could name like a superpower. And 20% are quirkless. And Deku is a big hero fan. He loves superheroes, and he's a big fan of All Might. And he doesn't have a quirk. Finally, one day he comes in contact with All Might, and he begins his adventure there. We'll keep it generic like that. Deku's training was very physical and basic, in my opinion. Just at the beginning, I'm really concentrating on season 1 Deku here. Obviously, he goes on to, even in season 5, which is currently airing as we're discussing this. His training continues. He has other internships with other heroes, and he's like pushing hard, and he has a Bakugo next to him, and stuff like that. Like that's still very much a thing. But what I thought of for sure was him doing crazy amounts of push-ups, him pulling super heavy objects in that junkyard with All Might, pushing him forward and everything. Him going on runs.
I still remember
Him literally carrying All Might.
I still remember my slackjaw expression when after All Might gives him the task of cleaning up the beach, and then comes in to check on Deku, like basically on the final day, to just see Deku screaming into the sky on top of the trash pile. I still remember my jaw dropped reaction to that.
Oh man, dude, that thing, that emotion is so real though in workouts. I'm telling you right now, like when you finish, like when I finish a big run or something, dude, I feel like that. Like sometimes I feel like Deku, and I'm like yelling, and I'm like, yes, you did it, you got through it. I love it. I love doing that kind of stuff. But like his training does continue, because obviously he uses One for All at the beginning, where he can only use it as he hurts himself. When he's like flicking his finger and he breaks his fingers, and then he goes into those internships with other heroes. He fights villains and he learns about himself. So what were your thoughts about on his training beyond just the beach?
Honestly, like it's a good way to start, because it's just like, okay, you want to be a hero, start by doing a good deed, and it also will help get stronger, because look at all of this shit. I want you to move it all the way over there. So I mean,
but beyond that, beyond like after that,
what, like after he finished, or what do you mean?
My question is, what are your thoughts on his working out, his training after the beach, like beyond that first basic arc?
Like how he starts training up One for All
and everything else. Yes.
Okay. So when he starts training up One for All, like obviously Deku is a very like experimental mind. Like, okay, I can only do this far, so if I dial it back a little bit, then I can get away with more, like stuff like that. Like he's very mathematical in his head and his approach with like how much he can do until he masters more power. And that's kind of the thing. It's that slow burn of giving him like more power and more tasks and stuff like that. And
no,
like,
definitely,
even if memory serves, in the God, what was it? In the sports festival, when he was fighting the mind control guy, like just flicking, or holding that flick until like at the very end. Like again, very mathematical mind, very strategic, but you can only get that way through like experience and like reading your opponents and stuff like that, which is a whole nother training with Deku in general, because he doesn't just take the physical traits of training, he also like trains his mind and like reads his enemies and stuff like that. So experience plays a heavy part in it, which is why I love it so much, especially when he gets shoot style, when he gets his own, basically his way of outputting One for All, and when he finally gets the boots, and then you just see him do the whole thing over again, but like this time with more experience and with kicks instead of punches.
No, exactly.
So like I love Deku's training style.
I think his training style is fantastic. There was also the one where he learns shoot style, and you can really see him like practicing that, and just with his legs, and he learns to move faster with his powers and everything. And dude, like I don't want to spoil season 5 for you because you haven't seen it, but I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. We know who the number one hero is now after All Might, right?
Yeah.
I mean, being Deku, I think you would realize who he would go towards to train.
Yeah.
Right?
Pretty sure.
Pretty clear on that. I don't think that's a spoiler at all. He's really putting in work in season 5. Like, that's the thing with Deku. He's one of these characters that, like, his training, his storyline develops. Like, he goes leaps and bounds over and over. Like, we said that with Goku, you know, started out with the rock throwing out, fighting Beerus and everything. Deku has that similar trajectory where he just keeps going up and 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 up. It
starts by cleaning up a beach, and now here he is, just like, okay, how many steel bricks can you punch through with one punch without breaking your arm?
I mean, I think that's the perfect transition.
I'm just like giving you an example. Like, I know he doesn't do that, but you know what I mean.
I think you saying one punch is the perfect transition, though.
Okay. Well, okay.
I don't know about you.
Go ahead and take it and go.
Unless you want to say something else on Deku.
No, I got nothing. I went through all I need to.
All right. So,
but all I'm gonna say is this next one is, like I said earlier, simple doesn't always mean bad, and this is that incarnate. It really is.
The One Punch Man workout, very simple. 100 sit-ups, 100 push-ups, 100 squats, and 10-kilometer runs every day. During the summer, you blast the heat. And during the winter, no heat whatsoever. Do that for, for like 3 years? And then you can one punch anyone. Some of that information might be scooting off a little bit. That's what I can recall.
But
that's what he was doing.
But at the same time, like, when you first hear that workout routine, it's just like, wait, really? That's what he does?
Like, that's it.
Because, like,
that's all there is to it.
Watching One Punch until that point, I'm like, okay, he either has, like, a crazy routine, or, like, he's an alien like Superman was, or he's like cursed or blessed or something, and then he gives the actual straight up answer, and I'm like, no. I kind of had the same response as Janos. I'm like, that is not what you do. Tell me the truth, you fuck. But I kind of love it.
I want to link you to a video. I just watch this right now as I'm talking, because I want to get to this subject. Just watch this. It's not even a minute long. I'm gonna talk. So I just sent a video to Hotshot called One Punch Man Fitness Test, and he's watching it right now. Just to give you an idea of the results of this, of like what Saitama can do because of this super simple workout. And this workout was so intense. I remind you that he lost his hair because of it as well. And now every single enemy he faces pretty much goes down with a singular punch because of this workout.
Okay, yeah. I've seen it. I mean, obviously, I've seen it. I've seen like through at least halfway through season 2. But at the same time, it's still pretty insane.
It's stupid. Like, it's like, all right, long jumps. He just jumps and his head props into the ceiling, and then they go side steps, and he just destroys everyone. It's stupid. The punching machine. I mean, this is the classic one we see in Dragon Ball, where Vegeta punches it too hard and they break it. Like, he does the same thing. Like.
Like,
I don't want,
like Saitama may not be an S rank hero, but he, like, obviously with the actual fitness test and everything, he's S. he's probably S.
Oh my god, yeah. No one touches him in that show in terms of like physical output.
Yeah.
At least in the anime so far. I don't know about the manga, but I mean, there's not much else to say about this. Honestly, that's the workout. I mean, I've seen him going on runs as well, with his 10Ks.
Mm-hmm.
It's stupid. It's stupid. I don't know. Do you have anything else to add? I just think like it's.
I mean, Saitama, like I said, it's the pinnacle of just like basic is not bad, and he's the proof of that. Like, sometimes basic can't be beat if you do it for long enough, especially.
Yeah, exactly. All right. I have 2 more on my mind. Do you want me to pick one, or did you have one that you wanted to talk about?
For right now, you can go ahead and pick one.
Okay, I'm gonna go to one that I think Hotshot knows a bit more about. This is an anime he's seen more of. One Piece. The one character in One Piece that I find trains a lot, at least through my research, was Zoro. Zoro was insane when it comes to training. I've seen him sword wielding. Like, he would just hit these, like, they were like sticks surrounded with, like, I don't know how to say it in English. It's like in French it's paille. It's how do you say? 1 sec. I'm gonna find the word. Straw. With straw. You know what I mean?
With the sword training slashes through them, or
yeah, do you know what I mean? When there was wood with straw around it, with straw, like with straw.
The
stuff in farms. The stuff in farms.
I know what straw is. I don't know the whole thing of what you're meaning though.
Okay, so basically, imagine a stick surrounded by straw around it.
All right, beautiful.
Okay, and that he would use he would use a piece of wood, and he would hit these sticks with straw on them to like train. That's like to practice his sword wielding until they break. You know what I mean? And then there would be bigger ones, and then there would be more of them, and you would see him like work in towards that. And he would even do this stupid exercise. This is ridiculous. Big boulder, okay? And he's on the edge of this waterfall, and he would lift the boulder this boulder would have like rope or chains around it, and there would be the one chain leading upwards, and then he could grab onto it with his teeth, and he would lift it with his teeth, with his jaw, like going up and down.
To be
You know what I
fair,
mean?
like any One Piece character training with their jaw kind of makes sense.
Oh yeah,
Just because of how insane One Piece jaws are.
yeah, no, they are very insane. And then there would be another one where he would have big boulders attached to chains, and then they would be linked across a tree, and he would pull the chain, and it would lift up the boulder. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he would be distance enough where like the branch way higher would make it so that when he lifts, when he pulls forward, the boulder will lift up, and he would just do this over and over and over and over and over, which is ridiculous. He would even like swing weights around. Like he would do this stupid, like he would lift one huge weight, like way bigger, and this is later on in his training, above him with one arm, and he would then take half of that weight, where it's like the bar, and then like the weights on the discs, and he would swing that around as a way to like practice his strength. Like a lot of strength training, obviously, with Zoro. Any thoughts on Zoro's training from what you've seen?
From what I've seen, honestly, no. Just because Zoro isn't the character that I've seen the most training for. The one I've seen the most is Luffy.
Oh, really? What's Luffy's training like?
Honestly, okay, so this is going to be a little weird. Just because I haven't seen One Piece, especially the training arc, in a long time. But I know Luffy trains up, like, he doesn't really train up Gum Gum all that much, because it's something that he already knows, like, very well from, like, the beginning of the show. But he does train up, like, his elephant gun. He trains up his hockey, and he trains up how to use fire in his elephant guns. Again, I don't know a whole lot about them, but I do know the arc where everyone splits off for 3 years after they get separated to train and get stronger, and that's where the time skip arc comes in. So like
that's actually really cool.
Like a lot of the training that I know is done off camera, but like you see the results of it.
Okay, I see what you mean. Interesting. I also wanted to mention Yu Yu Hakusho real quick as a side piece here.
Yeah,
I loved the training that occurred right before the demon tournament, where you would see Genkai training Yusuke. It was stupid. Like, for example, Yusuke's trying to climb up this big. He's trying to climb up this big like rock, like mountain, like straight up, like 90 degrees, and he's climbing and climbing. He falls off. He falls off a bunch. Manages to grab onto a rock, and then Genkai comes up to him, and you're thinking, oh, Genkai's gonna help him. No, she just starts punching him in the stomach a bunch, and he's just like, ah! And he finally like manages to like get her out of the way and climb back up. Like he goes through intense training. There was even a training. Oh, I need to find this statistic. It was Hiei did this in the final arc. He did this ridiculous training. You know what? I know you're not a fan of this wiki, but the VS Battles wiki does mention it, so I need to find it. It's under his endurance, I remember. Endurance. Stamina. Very high. Was able to use two. No, that's not where it is. No, is it not there? Durability. I can't find it. Okay. Well, Hiei did this insane training where basically he was locked into this, I want to say like rock-like room where there's trees around, like this mystical looking place, you know? It's like in the dark, just trees everywhere, and it's obviously within a cave. And there's like 300 of, I think, is it Makuro? I think Makuro was the one who was training him. Makuro is like one of the strongest characters in Yu Yu Hakusho, and Makuro would send all these some of their best fighters against him, and he would kill all of them. It was very Sasuke reminiscent. You know when Orochimaru sends like 300 soldiers against Sasuke, and then Sasuke just like kills all of them. It was very basically that. Like stupid training like that. Like, I'm gonna send 300 men after you, and if you survive, then you pass your training. It's the most. Yeah.
I killed 299 of them. Here's the last. There. Okay, I'm done.
Actually, on the last one, I remember he does this crazy thing where like he ends up like cutting off his own arm to be able to defeat the guy. So I'm just saying, this guy's super intense. And then people wonder why he defeated Sasuke in a death battle. Yo, you don't know. You don't know the power. You don't know the gym bro life of Yu Yu Hakusho. This anime goes hard, bro. It goes so hard. It's like insane what characters in this universe do. I understand Sasuke's insane as well. Boruto, we've seen it. I agree, but Dragon of the Darkness Flame every day, bro. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say to that.
You know what? Fair enough. That's all I got.
And yeah, okay. Did you have other ones you wanted to bring up? Because I have one more.
Yeah, I have one more, but it's a silly one, so it won't last long probably.
No, go for it. Go for it.
Just real quick, I wanted to touch on the fusion training from Dragon Ball.
Fusion.
That's the wrong technique. But I just wanted to touch on it because literally there's no training for it except for practice, the actual technique itself.
Practice the dance.
Because like you literally just have to be in perfect sync and harmony with whoever you're fusing with. And it's either you fuck it up and try again in an hour, or you get it right and that's it. That's all there is to it. You can't really train for it. You just have to be in sync for it. But I just remember like all of the unresults, for lack of a better word, from Goku and Vegeta in the Broly movie, and from Goten and Trunks in Buu Saga. It's just kind of amazing to see like all these misshapen and misformed transformations, like these failures, until they get it right.
I remember. I mean, the Bataras are cool too, but I just want to say, I prefer fusion. This fusion, I understand. The reason why I love the fusion is because it comes from outer space. It's like a Yardrat thing where like Goku learns it because he went to Yardrat. But it comes from the Metamorans, or a race that play a brief but important role in Dragon Ball. Okay, I don't know. I love geeking out researching this stuff. Like the Yadrats, the Metamorans are responsible for teaching Goku a very useful and powerful technique. They are the inventors of the fusion. Nothing is known of their appearance except for their clothes. Okay, yeah, this is another off-camera thing where Goku learns it, but I would love to see what the Metamorans look like, or like where that like goes at all. But the fusion dance is probably my favorite dance of all techniques.
I don't know. The Ginyu dance is pretty up there.
That's not a technique. That's not a technique.
It is for the Ginyus.
Dude, it's not. No.
That's all I got. I got nothing else.
Yeah, that is all you got. All right, let's end it with mine. This is another brief one, but I love it. This is like classic season 1 Attack on Titan. It's very early Attack on Titan, so Hotshot, you've seen this for sure. I loved the training to become a scout. I just thought it was so cool. Seeing Eren, practicing to try to like get the balance with his gear. You know what, that first one where they have like that door frame thing, and then they have the 2 strings linked to his ODM gear, and then he has to try to just stand straight up without touching the ground, and he keeps failing. He keeps falling and smacking his head, and then he finally gets it. And then the training goes in, and then they go into this whole training montage. Oh, is that a potato? And then you see Sasha going for a run. That's hilarious. But the training montage itself, where the training commander, he starts like riling off like who people are, and you have Armin being a little, and being like, oh, my back's too heavy. So Reiner grabs it for him, and he's like, all you need to do is pass this training regiment. I'll help you. And then I loved seeing this from Armin. He just grabs the back from Reiner. He's like, no one's gonna carry me through this. I'm doing this on my own. And you see them running through the woods with these backpacks on them, and it's raining super hard, and you just know it's killing them, and no one wants to be there. But once you get through it, you just see like the results of it. Other than that, you see them like maneuvering through the woods, slicing up napes on the back of fake Titans. Like, I love the training in Attack on Titan.
I mean, it's essentially boot camp, just anime style boot camp. So I can see where you're coming from with it. I mean, if you watch like army movies or anything like that, you kind of get the gist of it, and it's just in their world. So I understand the training of it. It's just a little too, and I know this is going to sound so incredibly stupid. It's just a little too real for my tastes, if that makes any sense.
I don't understand that. It's an anime, bro. It's not real.
You know what I mean, though, yeah?
No Titan will eat you tonight, I promise.
All right. Well, if you're going to be that way.
What I'm trying to say though, in all seriousness, is that I understand what you mean, because it's very close to the source material of actual like military training.
Yeah,
is what you're saying basically. Yeah. Fair enough.
But I mean, like using the ODM gear like in general, and like learning about the gear and using that, like training with that, like that's something else entirely, of course. But just like the mile run, the harsh nights, the workout routine, stuff like that. It's very reminiscent of army boot camp. So it's just something I've seen
It is,
before.
but bro, the results.
No, yeah, no, I totally get that. It's just the training itself is nothing to. Okay, yeah, I know this is brutal. I've heard this is brutal.
I mean, did you enjoy at least playing the training when you were in the video games of it?
Oh, I did.
They do kind of go through it.
I did love that. I love that because because that's the game where you're actually training to do these things. And I did love the like the Titan dummies that pop up with the with the sandbag weaknesses and
those
stuff
are
like that.
awesome.
Like I love it. I love it in the game just because like you don't spend too much time in the boot camp and anything like that. But it's just again too realistic for my taste when it comes to the actual training itself.
Fair enough. That's everything I had on all the training regiments. Which one's your favorite? Let's conclude on that. Which one's your favorite training regiment? Which one would you do?
Which one would I do? None of them. I don't
Come
work
on,
out,
come
my
on.
dude.
Obviously, if you were in an anime, you know what I mean? If you're part of that universe, come on,
right,
play
all
the
right.
game with me.
All right,
Don't-
fine.
don't
I'll
be a
play,
realistic-
I'll play.
Be a
if I-
gym bro. Come
if I
on,
had
Hotshot,
to-
get your shake. We're gonna work out right now. We're gonna do 20 push-ups right after this podcast.
All right, if I had to pick an anime workout, I'd pick Snorlax.
I hate you with everything within my body. Come on, Hotshot.
Deku. I'm gonna have to go Deku.
Yeah, you do.
Lee-
Yeah, I mean that's that.
Lee
yeah.
is way too much. Goku is way too much. Boot camp too brutal, too real. No, thank you. I'm gonna go Deku.
I think I would do Saitama's one because it's actually like I know it sounds insane, but it's the most realistic one.
But I mean,
Like I think there's actually a
well,
YouTube
yeah.
video of someone doing it.
Plus,
you know
I
what
mean, you see the end results, and like we don't even like see him training like all that much after he becomes a hero. He's just sitting on his couch eating potato chips. He's like, "Yeah, I've trained. I'm done."
I also want to say,
So hell, maybe I'll
when I do
join
my
you. Maybe
workouts-
I'll do Saitama too.
When I do my workouts, I need to pull this up. I always blast. I always do my workouts in my room. I do like arms and chest. And anyways, I'm not gonna start talking about my workouts. But there's this one playlist called Anime Gym Playlist. It's got 69 songs, and it's just like a perfect playlist to work out to. I love it. So if you guys are looking for a good playlist,
One
Yeah.
song that I can recommend, like hell, I'll even recommend the anime because it is just based entirely on like gym workouts and stuff like that, is How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift. And the song I'm recommending is I hear Building Up Muscle, but I think it's Bakanu Muscle or something like that. It's just the intro theme song to the actual show, but it's incredibly hype. It's incredibly like, even though I know no words at all, I still like at least hum to it or like try to do the words to it. And the show itself is actually like very like they show you legitimate workouts and everything.
what's the anime called again?
How heavy are the dumbbells you lift?
I'm gonna throw that on my anime list. How
It is a Hotshot show.
is it?
Yeah.
Oh my god! I just saw the. Oh, yeah. Okay. Whoa. I'm not gonna watch that one. Never mind. All right. The show is
Okay,
brought to you by.
if you don't watch the show, at least listen to the intro.
Yeah, I'll listen to the intro. Fair enough.
All right.
All right, so that was the open discussion. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the podcast. The Gym Bros appreciate it. In all seriousness, you can find the podcast on Facebook.com/Anime Podcasters, on YouTube.com/GiantMusic for the video versions. The audio versions are in every single podcatcher. I'm pretty sure we're just everywhere now. Spotify, Google, iTunes, Pocket Cast, everything. We're there for sure. If we're not on a specific platform, feel free to let me know, and I will look into that for you. You can also leave us a voicemail on speakpipe.com/anime podcasters, ratethispodcast.com/anime podcasters for leaving us a voicemail. And you can also leave us you can also take the survey in the description of the podcast to let us know your thoughts on it. And for myself, at GiantMusic everywhere on social media. GiantMusic.com is my website. And I'm getting more into doing video game music covers right now. I've done so many piano covers that the other day I was listening to the Mass Effect playlist, and the main theme was just so cool that I decided to cover it. So if you guys want more video game music covers, just shoot some recommendations. There's a channel for that in my Discord server, and there's also a podcast feed in my Discord server. So go check all of that out. The artwork is done by at GoProKyo. Every thumbnail is by him. So please take a minute and go follow him on Twitter. He's available for commission and does fantastic artwork at GoProKyo. That's it for me. Hotshot, go ahead. Where can people find you? When's your next live stream? Go ahead.
You guys can find me right here on JaianMusic's channel doing anime podcasters. You guys can also find me over on my channel, Hotshot Ginger, doing Pontsucast with GoProKyo, where we talk about other shows that Jaden doesn't want to talk about. I think we even have an episode about how heavy are the dumbbells you lift if you want to go ahead and check that out. I think it's our second episode. You guys can find me on the Discord server. I am there. I'm just ghosting all of you. And you guys can find me on Twitter at Hotshot Ginger, where like Discord server, I will just be ghosting all of you. And you can find me on Twitch at Hotshot Ginger. I've just taken a little bit of a break from it, but I am going to be going back to it. I'm going to be streaming my games again, stuff like that, interacting with you guys. So hope to see you there soon.
Nice. All right. Also, obviously, we didn't have a guest this month. I kind of wanted to get a break. You know, we have had guests every second episode for the longest time. It'd be cool to have GoProKyo back on the podcast. It's been a minute. So we'll see who the next guest will be. So for myself and Hotshot, this has been another episode of the most epic workout podcast ever, Anime
Podcasters!
All right, are we doing chests or are we doing legs after this?
Glutes!
We're gonna do arms the next day after that, okay?
Butts!
Bye, guys.
Bye.